Hello, this is Dave Gimberline with Shoto-Ryu Goshin Jutsu, Kata for Self-Defense. Welcome to the third beginner class. If you have not seen the first two, please take the first two before you take the third one. We're going to be learning some new stuff today. Opposite rotation blocks, like an inside block, Uchi-Uki, a downward block, a Geto-Marai, and a knife hand block, which is a Shuto-Uki. So, also two new stances, Kibarachi, which we've done before, but maybe not enough, and a back stance, okay, Kobuchidachi. So, feet together. Oh, we'll start with a formal bow, because we learned that last time. So it's up, down. Sit up straight, close your eyes, breathe in deep through your nose and out through your mouth. Makuso! Right? Oh, right? Hey up. Very good. Okay, warming up. Pick up one foot, go around with your ankle and toes. Switch away. Other foot. Other way. Feet together around with your knees. Other way. Feet apart, around your hips. Other way. Use your legs, pump your arms around. Switch. Cross. Twist. Kick up your heels. Squatting. Put your hands on the floor, straighten your legs. Squat, straighten, squat, straighten, and squat. We're going to try a new warm-up exercise today. Arch. So that your feet are behind you and your stomach's on the ground and you look up at the ceiling. Keep your legs straight and walk your feet in till they are up by your hands. Walk your hands out and arch. Walk your feet in. Walk your hands out. Walk your feet in. Walk your hands out. Pull your feet in. Very good. Kibarachi. We've talked about this a little bit before. So let's say this is 1 hip distance. Kibarachi is about 2, maybe a little more. The outside edges of your feet are parallel. Your knees are in line from your center to your feet, not outside that line. Right now we're just stretching. So stretch forward like you're reaching for your elbows to the floor. Push back, push your hips forward, and down, back, and down, breathe. And back, reach over one shoulder, inhale. Switch on the side, side, switch, around. Switch. And stop. Straighten one leg. Switch. 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 Switch and drop down this way. Switch. 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 Stay on the side. Rotate your hip all the way over. Stretch the outside of your thigh. And back. Over. And back. Over. And back. Switch all the way over to the side. Rotate your hip all the way over. Switching down. Back. Over. Back. Over. Back. Over. And back. Pull your feet in, squatting. Straighten your legs and stretch down. Roll up. Around with your hip. Switch. Side, side. One knee up. Switch. Switch. And switch. Reach around behind. Grab an ankle. Switch. Switch. And switch. Turn. Straight uniform. And back. Out. A little bit of review. Second position. Arms around, feet apart. Just like that. Making a fist. Pull your fingertips into the pads of your hand. Roll them in. Cover the first finger with your thumb. Put both hands out in front. Try to keep your elbow pointed down. Pull one hand back, your right hand, let's say. Pull your right hand back, leave your left hand out. Rub your elbows along your side and punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep your left hand out. I will tell you, imagine please the energy is coming from your center towards the target. And even though you see my arms moving, I want you to think of your feet and legs doing the action. So over-exaggeration might be 1, push, push, driving all the way up. 1, squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to step into Kiwadach. Move your feet apart. I find it easy when I'm moving a Kiwadach to plant the ball of my foot first or my toe and then push my heels out. It helps me get the outside edges straight. So I do that also in the middle of kata. If I'm doing any kind of a step over and I step down, the ball of foot touches first and you push your heel out. It's actually kind of a common sense thing, and yet a lot of people seem to miss it and end up with their feet like this all the time punching. Anyway, outside edges parallel, bend your knees, push forward from your center. This time it's okay if your hip moves a little bit, like you're throwing the punch away from you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you're going to kiai, sharp, quick motion, and make a noise at the end. Ready? Rest. Shake out your legs a little bit. Move your arms on a little bit. Just a little bit moving across the floor in a front stance. As a quick review. In a front stance, Try to have most of your weight forward. They say 60-40, and yet your back leg is driving into the target, so it should have a lot of weight or pressure on it. When you're punching in our basics, your hips are generally straight. When you're blocking, your hips are generally sideways, which usually means your knee has to move somewhere. So let that knee move a little bit. Step and punching, moving forward, just to warm up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take your back leg, reach over 2 stances and turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take your back leg, reach over 2 stances and turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, that went 5. Turn. I'll be going 4 because I figure people don't have enough room. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Turn. Put your left leg in front. Just 4 times forward with ki. Even though I said 4, I know I did 5. It's a habit. Quite often we do 3, 5, 9, sometimes 10, but it is good to do both. Do odd numbers, so you always start out with your left leg. Do even numbers, so you end up alternating legs quite often rather than favoring one side so much. Opposite rotation blocks. So when you do a same way rotation block like we practiced last week, the outside block where your hip and arms are moving in the same direction, that makes sense. When you do an opposite rotation, like say an inside block, where your hand moves that way and your hip moves this way, it makes less sense to most people. It just takes a while. My opinion is that you're using your legs to make a shock wave into the target, and it really doesn't matter whether it goes this way or it goes this way, as long as the shock wave gets to the target, and it depends on where you're coming from. So we're going to try inside blocks and downward blocks in place, and then we'll move back and forth in the front stance. So for an inside block, generally speaking, they cross your arms with this hand pointed down, sort of down by your hip or where your groin arm was. This hand's out in front. I'm going to twist. Remember, I want to get my elbow across my center. That's going to be kind of a basic thing for any of these wind-ups. And then you want your arm to come towards the center, and my hip is going to turn away. Then I'm going to leave this hand out, and I'm going to coil the other arm, and go. And come across, and then go. And come across, and then go. Cross, whoops, and then go. So when you get here, your fist should be about shoulder height. Your elbow should be almost directly underneath your arm in the middle of your body. So quite common is people end up blocking over here, their body's too exposed. Leave it, just get in the habit of leaving it in the middle of you. This exact action happens in Basadai and Konkudai in this sort of stance. So assuming they were teaching those kata first rather than basics, which is what I think it was, there's a reason you practice it that way as far as self-defense is concerned. So anyway, those are inside blocks, also called uchi-uki. We're going to go a little bit faster. Put your left hand out, right hand at your side. You're going to coil underneath and then block. 1, coil, block. Boy. 2, coil, block. 3, coil, block. 4, coil, block. What I do not want you to do in general, let's say you're starting from here, I don't want you to wind your hip up and your arm at the same time, because now there's no hip left for the block. So even from here, it is quite conceivable that some of you might, by accident, go like this and then block, and then go like this and then block. Turn about halfway and then twist for your blocking action. We'll do it again as we go forward and backwards. Let's try a downward block. This is called a gate of an eye, which I believe transfers as downward sweep. I think it describes the action. It's starting up high by your shoulder or your face, depending on who's teaching. Your elbow goes across your center, like we talked about before. Here, your elbows are very close together. I'm going to drop this arm down along my drawing arm and twist my body to the side. And then come back up, and then draw. And come back up, and then draw. Up, block, up, block, up, block, up, block. Okay, enough of that. Now with the arms. Show out your legs. All right. Moving forward in a stance, we'll do an inside block first. I, as you know, like to do things in 2 counts, so that's how we're going to start. Bow. Left arm, left leg forward, and you can do an inside block. So your arm's going to come across and step out that way. Right? Moving forward, your arms are going to prepare as your legs go this far. 1, just past halfway. 2, spin your hip and block. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We'll go backwards. 1, as I talked about before, don't let your butt out. Try to keep your body straight. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Moving forward again. I'm going to do it sideways so you can see. 1, squeeze, 2, block. 1, squeeze, 2, block. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. In that series, I just switched my feet every time, which you'll see again when we do the kitchen training on the regular classes. Moving forward in 1 count, inside blocks. Start with your left arm, left leg forward. During this time, see if you can get your elbow to go past halfway and come bouncing back out. It's a little more dynamic. 1, pull. 2, 3, 4, 5, backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, forward again. 1, 2, 3, 4, back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I rest for just a moment. See, I'll talk about 2 things about the inside block. On any of the opposite rotation blocks, there's a lot of talk about pulling your elbow to your elbow. That's an important concept. So it is much harder to understand on an outside block because you're kind of going this way. But an inside block, your elbows are pulling towards each other across your back. The only thing I want to caution you on is not to destroy your structure. So some people get so excited about this elbow to elbow idea, they pull, and this is all pulled apart and weak. Your spine and your stomach, your abdominal area, has to be solid. So try to make sure you maintain your front as you do your block. And as I talked about before, this structure doesn't really change. Whether you're punching, blocking, eventually we'll do this block. This part from here to here is still the same. Boom. So that's one thing. Get that sensation of elbow to elbow. I'm going to mention the second thing, and that is when I was taught this originally, everything was a straight line. Straight across here, straight up. Straight across here, straight up. There are many styles that sort of embrace a circle. Everything's a circle. In, out, circle. In, out, circle. Turns out, neither one of those is wrong. They're both right. They're both part of the same action. So, especially as we go with 1 count, it is perfectly okay with me if you get the sensation that you're going straight or that you got a little bit of a circle going on there, and even just a basic block. Please make sure you end up 1 or 2 fists away from your body, not more, certainly not less. That's too much. So this is about a 90-degree turn. This is about your shoulder height. So moving forward again, forwards and backwards, and then with speed with your inside block. So inside block, left leg forward, height, moving forward. 1, pull, elbow to elbow. 2, squeeze, go. 3, 4, backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Speed, moving forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. High away. Look straight ahead. High rest. Very good. Downward blocks, moving forward and backwards. So we practice those in place. Downward blocks are one of the first things that show up in kata, if you do hand shodan. And it's definitely part of hand idan also, which used to be pinan shodan, which was really the first kata. I can tell you that your arm starts up and drops low, and it's very important that this be very close to your knee. I know I myself, I'll start sliding and it'll be that high, and if you're using it for a block, it doesn't actually cover anything. You want that down within a fist distance, and it'll feel very short. If you're used to letting your arm just be big, this will feel very short, but it is more useful for most things, and something to pay attention to. So here we are, moving forward, left arm, left leg forward, downward block. Forward in 2 counts. Pull your arm up, coil your knees together, kind of a cat stance. 1, so your right knee pulls forward, your elbows and knees are squeezing in this way. 2, spin, downward block. Pull your elbow to your elbow. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, backwards. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Forwards. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Backwards. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Very good. Moving forwards and backwards, 1 count. 1, up, down. Make sure your hip is turned sideways, very sideways. 2, up, down, sideways. 3, 4, backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Moving forward with speed. Let your arm come up and bounce and then down. Relax your shoulders. Please make sure your hips are twisted sideways. 1, up, down. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I forgot. I said to go with speed and ki. Ready? Backwards. utsudachi, which is a back stance, and the knife hand block, which is often called a shutouke. And a shutouke is slightly modified from normal, but basically you're making your hand nice and straight. You're striking the not with this edge, but more with this edge where the bottom of your bone is. So to make the hand position, and we'll come back to this in a second, open your hands all the way up. So these knuckles are in line, right? Then you're going to squeeze your fingers together, but keep your knuckles straight. You don't want to squeeze your hand and curl it. You want that to be flat. So in Shotokan, historically, there was only one position, this position, and this is your knife hand block, your spear hand strike, a karate chop. It was like all things to all people. I now do all of those positions differently. In the knife hand block, I don't hit with this knuckle. This is one of the weakest parts of your hand, and it bends easily. This is one of the strongest bones, this bottom edge here. It hits very easy. So that's the edge I want you to think of striking with right there. We will come back to this in a second. Right now we're going to do back stances. So for back stance, I want you to put your right leg straightening 90 degrees to the side and your left leg straight ahead. And so right now I'm a mirror for you. You're going to step out with your right leg and bend your left one. So most of your weight stays back here. It's 70, 70, 30. I prefer to teach a little more at first, otherwise people step forward too much. Pull your foot back, step out again, 1. Pull your foot back, step out again, 2. Pull your foot back, 3. Pull your foot back, 4. And your knee is out. Your knee is out over here. Switch feet. So now you have your left foot in back and your right foot in front. Drop your weight and pick your foot out. 1. Pull it back. 2. Pull it back. Your head, your pelvis or sit bones, and your heel kind of stay in line. 3. Step out. Back. 4. Step out. Back. 5. Step out. Back. Now you're going to do your hands and your feet at the same time. Put your right foot in back. Put your left foot in front so they're pointed at 90 degree angles. Coil your left hand up by your face and extend your right arm out. Here your elbows are very close together. You're going to bend your knees, step out with your left. This hand follows out and twists away from you. Again, striking with this point. That was 1. Pull back and coil, same side. 2, pull back. 3, pull back. 4, pull back. Twist. 5. Switch sides. Put your left foot in back, put your right foot in front. Coil your right arm up by your face. Drop and put your foot out. 1, knife hand block. Kind of sweeps across, making sure to cover your body, face, whatever they're aiming at. Back. 2, back. 3, back. 4, back. 5. So now realize I'm going to do more sideways, so switch your feet. So again, you have your right foot in back. I forgot to tell you about your drawing side. Your drawing side and all of the other actions, not all, but most of the actions in basic Shotokan pulls all the way back here. In the knife hand block, it's going to stop over your solar plexus. So I was originally taught here with my hand, and most people get a little sloppy, ends up down here. I have since come to figure out that it's better for me, and apparently for my students, if the middle of your forearm stops here at your solar plexus. And then squeeze this into your body. So you're going to go here, 1, squeeze, it stops here. It is wrapping into you, pulling, 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 and down into your legs. Back, 2, back, 3, back, 4, back, 5, switch feet. So your right foot's in back. 1, back, 2, back, 3, back, 4, back, 5. Hang up. Okay, so again, when I turn sideways to the camera, at this point it's just so you can see. Just when we're doing basics, you're only going straight forwards and straight backwards in this training. When we start to do kata, which might be even next week, you're going to turn angles and remember a pattern, which will be different. So, and although I say next week, I probably mean next lesson. So this is lesson number 3. In lesson number 4, we'll do Heian Shodan and review the basics that we've learned so far. So there will probably be 6 beginner classes altogether, and then you can review those classes and hopefully be ready for the more advanced classes. Anyway, knife hand blocks. Moving forwards and backwards. We're going to move bow, feet apart. You're going to move forward in 2 counts. You're going to squeeze your left arm in. So right now I'm not a mirror. Pull your left arm, left leg in. Both knees are in. You're going to pull apart and block. 2. Pull forward. 1. You're sort of in a cat stance. 2. Pull apart. 1, 2. 1, kind of a cat stance with both knees in. 2. 1, squeeze in. 2, pull apart, in, out. So when I say cat stance, this is a back stance, which generally is called kokutsudachi in Japanese. This is a neko ashidashi, which is a cat stance. I think really if you translate it, it's cat foot stance, because the footprint you make, it looks like a cat paw or a cat print, but also people like that you sneak forward like maybe a cat that walks very gingerly. Let's try moving backwards. You're here in your back stance. I want you to leave your back leg the way it is and reach back with the other one this way. And then twist into your back stance. 2. 1, reach. 2. 1, reach. 2. 1, reach. 2. 1, reach. 2. Forwards. 1. Knees in, elbows in. 2. Pull down. 1. 2. So as you do this technique, 1. Do not step forward and then try to get your weight back. It's too late. From here, you have to pull down directly and make that pressure to the floor. 1, 2, 1, 2. Backwards. 1, reach. 2. 1, reach. 2. 1, reach. 2. 1, 2. Yep. Take a break for just a second. We're going to try forwards and backwards in 1 count. Then we will go with speed. Then we will review today's techniques, and then we're done. So you got less than 5 minutes left, so hang in there. Out, feet apart. Left arm, left leg forward, knife hand block. 1, in, out. 2, in, out. 3, 4, backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forward with speed. Ready? Backwards. If ever you have questions about how I teach or what I teach, or questions that I didn't explain very clearly, you can email me at gimberline@hotmail.com, or you can write the questions underneath in the comments, and I will get them. A quick review. So you bow, feet apart. Left arm, left leg forward, we're gonna do a ganabara. This is the way so many people start their classes, and it's your third one. It's the first time you get to do this. Step out with your left arm, left leg, downward block. One, flail block. We're gonna move forwards and backwards doing a downward block. One, up, down. Two, shoulders down, hips sideways. 3, 4, backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, forwards. We're going to do an inside block. Your arm is going to come across and block inside. 1, in, out. Spin your hip. 2, 3, 4, backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knife hand block, moving forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. High up. High rest. One tip, I guess, that I was thinking about. Moving forwards or backwards right now in all stances, but let's say a front stance. It is your goal to keep your body straight and stable and to drive in the most efficient manner from here to wherever you're going. And that means you don't go up and down. It means you don't go excessively in and out. My body's going that way when I want to punch that way. The best that you can, let's say you go super slow, you want to avoid your hip lifting this way and then down. It's a common thing for people who are learning to have pressure forwards and going backwards. As I mentioned before, you want to avoid your butt coming out when you leave your face there and move backwards. So slowly, this stays this way, you drive forward and you drive backwards. Forwards and backwards. Doesn't matter if you twist or not. Still the same smooth action. Okay? Forward, backwards, backwards. I think that is all. Thank you for training. Please like and subscribe to these videos. Please feel free to share them with any of your friends. Continue to train safely, and I hope you all stay happy and healthy. Thank you.